Two small pocketable cameras. Let's talk which one is better, which one takes better pictures. Let's talk about this now. Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Tudor Matescu and in this video I want to do a comparison after a long time use of Ricoh GR III versus Fujifilm XF10. Which camera is better, which camera is more faster, which camera is more practical to take with you, and which camera is deserving the price. So I've used these cameras for over a year plus. Ricoh GR III, this is GR IIIx, but it's the same as GR III, a little bit bigger. And this is XF10. So Fujifilm XF10 28mm lens, and on Ricoh we know that we have a 28mm lens and a 40mm lens. And the bodies are identical. Before buying Ricoh GR III and hearing all the complaints on the internet regarding build quality, I was a big advocate of Fujifilm XF10. So Fujifilm XF10 has a great lens and a great sensor. It's not an external sensor, it's a CMOS bare sensor that I'm really liking it a lot. The images are clear, they don't have that external look that I'm not liking it too much when I want a more clear picture. So a great sensor with great dynamic range. With great dynamic range you can recover 4 stops of highlights. I was able to do this, and also in the shadows very responsive. I have an in-depth review of Fujifilm XF10 where I'm showing you how to set it up and how you can get the best out of this camera. Next, Ricoh GR III has a great sensor and a great lens, but the sensor I'm feeling it's a little behind than Fujifilm XF10. I've done an in-studio test regarding noise, and yes, this is a little bit noisier than Fujifilm. I will not waste time in searching the pictures and proving you that this is a little bit noisier. Yes, it's a little bit noisier, but it's not bothering me. So it's a small differentiate factor that it can't be a buying decision factor. Next, both of these two lenses are extending from the body. So even when I'm opening Fujifilm XF10, I have a little extension of the lens, but very small, not like on Ricoh. And also when I'm focusing. So this means also XF10 it's suited to acquire some dust, but I feel that the XF10 is better protected at acquiring dust compared to Ricoh. This Ricoh, even if it wasn't so used and it was very protected by me, it already acquired dust on the sensor. But this camera that I am using it for over 1 year, and this is an used body because my first XF10 I've sold it, didn't acquire dust. I'm not able to see dust in the pictures, but here I was able to see it. So regarding dust magnets, I feel that XF10 is doing a better job, even if it's not 100% protected because it's not weather sealed and dust sealed, but better design overall. In hand, Fujifilm XF10 it's a little bit heavier, a bit thicker, a little bit stronger, but this could be an advantage and a disadvantage. The disadvantage is that when you will put this camera in your pocket, because of the weight, you will feel it. It's not a camera that you will easily put in your pocket because of the weight. You will feel it. It's working good in winter time, but when it's autumn or it's spring or it's summer, this weight will be filled in your pocket. So on the other hand, Ricoh GR III, GR IIIx weight, it's another story. The camera is very light, but it's so light that you can drop it if you will not secure it with a strap. So a light camera more easily to be taken with you, but on the other hand, because the camera is not weather sealed and weather protected to dust, you must use a protective cover. So I have this cover from Ricoh, and when I will put this camera in the protective cover, I will have a bigger package. So I can't say one wins over the other. I'm feeling that XF10 it's winning it a little because I was able to take this camera with this UV protective filter, and I sewed it in my jacket pocket, and now problems, no problem. So it's more portable regarding use of pockets. But if you use a camera bag, any camera, it will be suited. But also in the camera bag, I do prefer to keep my Ricoh in this leather protective case, that it's making it a little bulkier. So we are still there regarding portability and how pocketable is a camera. If Ricoh GR IV will come out with a better build quality and sealed to dust and weather, then this will be another story. But till then, let's talk about the AF speed of these two cameras, and after that we will treat how these two cameras are working in manual focusing mode, because manual focusing mode is very important for these two cameras. So in AF, this is a very sluggish, slowish camera. It's terrible, I could say, at our present standard days. So you can use this camera just with AFS, single point, and this is it. And you will not want to use it like this for street photography, because it is also slow. If you don't shoot RAW, and if you put this camera in automatically mode, scene recognition, something like this camera will be faster. So this means the camera has the hardware but doesn't have the firmware updated for a better AF. But I'm using this camera just in manual focusing mode, and I will tell you immediately why it's great for this. Next, we have Ricoh GR III that has a great AF compared to XF10. So Ricoh GR III AF, it is very snappy. In low light situations and in very closed situations like portraiture photography, like macro photography, it will be slower but more faster than Fujifilm XF10. So a very snappy camera. It's working great with AFS, with touch to shoot and other details that we will cover. But regarding the AF, it's much faster than Fujifilm. I know that a lot of videos out there showed that the AF of Ricoh is comparable to the AF of XF10. It's not true. This is way much faster than Fujifilm XF10, even if it's not perfect. But I feel I can rely for street photography in a good acceptable light on AF. So very good results with the AF. Of course, not Sony A1 results, but enough for a camera like this. Now let's talk about the manual focusing options. Well, regarding manual focusing options, we have here two main manual focusing options that are called snapshot. So you have the option of a snapshot from 5 meters and the option of a snapshot for 2 meters. But the problem is that you have only these two options, 5 meters and 2 meters. The great thing is that in this option, Fujifilm XF10 is already closing the aperture. So if you are set to these distances, you also have a pre-closed aperture. So for the 5 meters snapshot, you have f5.6, and for 2 meters snapshot, you have f8. So these are fixed preset snapshots, and they are doing a great job. You'll be able to get sharp pictures and acceptably sharp pictures depending on the scene and situations. But if you want more controls, you must put this camera in manual focusing mode. And this is where the problem appears. When you will set this camera in manual focusing mode, you'll bump the ring that it's setting the distance scale. So you must train your hand not to bump the ring when you are on the streets and you are making photography. So this is a problem here. This is a big problem because it's very possible to bump the ring and you will not know where you are, and you must look at the distance scale, adjust, and so on. So you will be able to do it in summer days with light, set the camera on f11, f16 and use it like this, but again, you must pay lots of attention to the ring. Also, you have aperture lag in general, because the camera is metering in general the scene using the open aperture, and it will close the aperture when you will press the shutter button, so you'll have some lag there. But in general, you'll be able to take the shots, but it's not at the level of this camera. This camera is very snappy in manual focusing mode. It's extremely snappy. It's as fast as a film camera. You don't have any lag whatsoever. Any lag, it's not there, even if you use the shutter button or even if you use the screen. Here the screen is not usable. You can't touch to shoot and expect to take the shot. You have these options, but the LCD screen that has touch options and touch gestures, it's very laggish, it's unusable. You can use it, but again, not at this level. So very fast modes in manual focusing mode, and you have lots of functions and presets and snapshot modes from 0.3 meters, so 30 centimeters to 1 meters, 1.5, 3 meters, 5 meters, infinity. So you have lots of manual focusing options that I've discussed in other videos, and you can check those videos regarding how you can focus with Ricoh GR3. So regarding manual focusing options, here is one of the best camera that is out there on the market. One of the best camera that if you enjoy manual focusing, then again, this is a no-brainer. The dials, the buttons are so well built, the firmware, it's so well built and so responsive that you will not bump by mistake any settings. Just make the setting, shoot with the screen, with the shutter button, and you are done. So faster in AF, faster in manual focusing. Next, the overall interface. The overall interface, this is way more customizable, way more powerful, and way more faster. This is a sluggish camera, and even if the results are great, I'm feeling that I'm missing the speed in manual focusing. I'm okay in using this camera in manual focusing. I was able to get great shots, but this is a better tool, a much better tool. I would say 5, 6 times, 7 times better, and maybe even more. Very fast, very reliable regarding what you can do with this camera in any lighting conditions and any space conditions, even if the reports online regarding build quality aren't so great. So in conclusion, which camera I do recommend in 2024 for a pocketable camera? I do recommend Ricoh GR III. I am totally pro Ricoh GR III because, how I've said, it's much better. And another very important factor here, a very important factor, XF10 prices on the used market are very high. So I'm feeling this is a better choice regarding price and what you get. So this is why I do recommend this camera. Also, another advantage of this camera is that you have a shoe mount. This doesn't have a shoe mount. Yes, it has a flash, but you can mount a flash on this Ricoh GR, but also you can mount an optical viewfinder. So a more practical camera in any conditions that you could imagine in using it. So I do recommend Ricoh GR III. It's a beast of a camera compared to the old XF10. And if you are asking that you don't have a teal screen and maybe X70 could be a better choice, again with X70 it is the same story. And on a small camera you don't need a teal screen. You really don't need it, especially for the 28mm field of view, because the field of view it is wider, and in this mode it's very easy with a light camera and small like this to see the screen or to learn the focal length without seeing it very exactly, because if you'll use it and you'll use it, you'll think and you'll pre-visualize in that focal length. So Ricoh GR III a clear winner in this debate. But if you want to know how to use it and to obtain better results, please check my next videos about Ricoh GR III. Also subscribe, like, share and leave me your comments. And by the way, I have a newsletter where I share tips and tricks on how I'm taking pictures. Please subscribe to that. Newsletter is free and I share lots of pictures and I will add more valuable content for you.